Life is ephemeral, and so we have art. The artist is a storyteller. The artist is an educator. The artist is a historian. The artist is an activist. The art of theater has been a part of my life forever. Not many students here even know we have a theater program, but that has never deterred the artists here from creating. Our theater program is in fact entirely innovative. FGCU's Theater Lab is one of the first undergraduate level theater programs in the nation to specialize in applied theater. Applied theater is an umbrella term, but it characterizes a category of drama that's executed in specific social contexts. This includes devised theater, theater that does not begin as a typical script with a linear plotline, rather rises from a collaborative process that can be somewhat improvisational. This includes conceptual theater, theater that focuses on the concepts and the ideas driving a piece, not the aesthetic. This includes performance art. As defined by the internationally acclaimed performance artist Marina Abramovic, performance art is a matter of context and intention. I have a love of theater for change, engaged theater, radical theater, and transmedia performance. It is this kind of theater that actually prompted me to study political science. I have found that people cannot be indifferent and apathetic to some of the things they see on the stage. That's a powerful thing for someone hoping to work in human rights, someone looking for a medium for their messages, someone like me. My freshman year of college, a theater student enrolled in a directing class asked me to help him create a conceptual piece of theater. Knowingly that I'm an avid writer, he asked me to wake up every day for 1 week and immediately write the first thoughts on my mind at the dawning of my day. I wrote at very early morning hours for 1 week and presented him with pages of literary nonsense, just word babble. He put me up to performing these lines of writing in front of his entire class. I slept every night that week with my laptop open, a blank document queued up on the screen, and as I woke up in the morning and sat there typing, mindless and exhausted, I discovered something. Although I had not consciously written a linear plot for the piece sent me clear messages, had a clear motif, and was a loud call to action. Since then, I have continued the unusual writing process of the piece with contributions from other young people, not just artists, and the scene is becoming an ethnographical show, an excerpt of which you all have underneath your seats. In the end, I hope to have the piece become an educational piece on sexual violence and reproductive justice. My hope beyond that is to launch a human rights movement using ethnographic, conceptual theater like mine as activism against sexual violence and an exploration of reproductive rights. The title for my campaign will be taken from one of the original lines of the piece, "She will fade." When I launch the movement, it'll be transmedia in nature. The movement will culminate live theater with the art of photography. The photos you are about to see were designed and captured by my talented 17-year-old sister, Stephanie Shindler, before I ever even told her I had set out to do this. They've been reinterpreted, and they'll be used for my advocacy. Much of the theater and performance that we see today is embellished with fiction, still no one can deny its humanity. Artists of today recognize that all art wields this power to be human, and they recognize a need for that reminder of humanity. But how do we accomplish that in this increasingly technological world, this world where we are infinitely outsmarted by our own mechanical creations? Well, we as theater artists outsmart our audience. The audience used to be this controlled space between the ticket booth in the lobby and the stage, this comfortable, quantifiable, predictable space where one could come, sit down, and watch something, kind of like every single one of you is doing right now. But artists have recognized that audiences sit in these seats and they willingly suspend their disbelief. You gave your powers of perception to me for 15 minutes, and I want to challenge the boundaries of audience consciousness. So how do we as theatrics play with the threshold at which our creations become a means of social science? FGCU is home to many young people like myself who are striving to break the boundaries that have long contextualized theater as being strictly entertainment. This is a piece that contemplates gender expression and presents gender as a social construct. The next piece is a piece that reimagines the widespread epidemic of domestic violence with influence from Greek mythology. It takes a very brave kind of artist to pursue this kind of work, and to see the young people here becoming that kind of artist is something pretty special. I am at this university today studying political science and theater in our honors program because of my experience in one very special show that I've had the honor of performing in numerous times throughout my theatrical career. FGCU produced the Laramie Project in February of 2014. The Laramie Project is composed of the transcribed interviews of the citizens of Laramie, Wyoming, after the brutal murder of college student Matthew Shepard in the late 90s. The show explores themes such as sexuality, gender, religion, and identity. Similarly to my own piece, the show is an ethnography. The show was created by Moises Kaufman and the Tectonic Theater Project, who spent months in Laramie, Wyoming, meeting the real people who would become the cast of characters for their show. Real people who were just coping with tragedy and confusion in light of the death of a young boy. This show introduced me to what would become my career. My career in human rights began as a character study for this show. I portrayed University of Wyoming student Zubaydah Ullah in 2 different productions of this show. Zubaydah is a practicing Muslim, an anomaly in the little town of Laramie in the 90s. Zubaydah shows incredible resilience in the face of ignorance, and her wisdom brings new perspective to a nation that was diseased with hatred. The show has this quality of apparent truth. The Laramie Project did such a good job of analyzing the social climate of our country at the time of its release that following a successful national tour, the United States Federal Hate Crime Legislation Act passed in 1969 was expanded to include crimes motivated by a victim's actual or perceived gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability. You see, the artist is an agent for change. The artist forgives, but does not forget. The artist is.
This is for your safety. Anyone refusing to leave, you are subject to arrest.
Going on in the national dialogue. There seems to be an onslaught at the moment. There's grassroots evangelical movements like Abort 67 down in Brighton.
You can believe what you think and we'll believe what you think because...
Kind of goes back to the foundation of the country, right? 3/5 of the human beings.
We just want justice.
United we fall. United we stand. United we fall.
No racism.
I need to beat the shit out of someone. What need that for? I just.
So we've just arrested 3 people.
We went to the candle vigil, and it was so good to be with people who felt like shit. I kept telling myself I don't deserve to feel this bad, you know? And someone got up there and he said, "Come on, guys, let's show the world that this is not that kind of town." But it is that kind of town. If it weren't that kind of town, then why did this happen here? I mean, like, you know what I mean. That's a lie, because it happened here. So how could it not be the kind of town where this thing happens? That's like looking at an Escher painting and getting all confused. It's like circular logic. How can you even say that? And we have to mourn this. We have to be sad that we live in a city, a state, a country where shit like this happens. I'm not going to step away from this and say we need to show the world this didn't happen. There are people trying to distance themselves from these crimes, and we need to own these crimes. I feel everyone needs to own this. We are like this. We are like this. We are like this.